Hey everyone, Jacob Fry has a funny idea of what constitutes protecting your neighbors.
We have had perhaps tens of thousands of people peacefully protesting in the streets. And at the same time, yeah, they are going to stand up for their neighbors.
Hey everyone, I'm Rich Lowry of National Review, and that was Jacob Fry trying to justify what is an anti-ICE insurgency in Minnesota. Now, why do I use that term? Insurgency is a resistance, often violent, to a government in an attempt to topple it or affect its policies. And I think we're seeing a version of that here. Doesn't involve bombs or bullets, thank God, although ICE has been shot at other places, but involves elements of coercion and intimidation. This is different from a conventional protest because it involves directly interfering with law enforcement operations. It's different than a mere riot, although I hate rioting, and rioting is awful because it is semi-organized by ICE Watch and other groups and other networks, and also has a clear, definable political goal of getting ICE the F out of Minnesota. And Jacob Fry, though, wants to portray this all as just an exercise in neighborliness.
It's a beautiful day in this neighborhood, a beautiful day for a neighbor. Would you be mine?
Now, I'm all in favor of neighborhoods. I'm all in favor of neighbors looking out for their fellow neighbors. This is one of the glories of our civil society and of America. It's important to an orderly society and a society that cultivates a sense of well-being, right? If you're in Florida and someone's opening their garage door and a gator goes in there and you see it, you tell your neighbor. That's protecting your neighbor. A tree limb in a storm falls on your neighbor's house. You go over, see how you can help out, maybe help chop up that tree limb. That is helping and protecting your neighbor. What Fry is talking about is totally different. And in any other context, it would seem even more manifestly absurd than it is, right? Every criminal has neighbors, with few exceptions. Lives in some remote ranch somewhere or lives on the top of the mountain. But otherwise, say if a drug dealer lives in a neighborhood, we don't consider it appropriate for the neighbors to say, you can't arrest that guy because he's my neighbor. Yes, he's committed crimes, but he's my neighbor. So if the cops are going to come, I'm going to drive my car in front of the cops. I'm going to whistle at the cops. I'm going to scream at the cops to get out of here. I'm going to try to de-arrest the drug dealer if the cops are apprehending him. None of that would be considered neighborliness. It would be considered lawlessness. And that's what we're dealing with here. And there's another canard out there that these people are just monitoring or observing. Ilhan Omar has repeated this absurdity.
I think it is really important for Americans to record, to create the level of accountability and transparency that we need.
Yeah, but no one's advancing accountability by driving their car in front of an ICE vehicle. No one's advancing accountability by yelling, get the F out of here, when they see ICE officers or grappling with ICE officers or chasing them off by intimidation. This is not about accountability. It's not about transparency any more than it's about neighborliness, which goes, by the way, to this preposterous euphemism that a lot of these people use about themselves and is applied to them by the left, which is to call them so-called legal observers. But if these people are legal observers, then the Proud Boys at the Robert E. Lee statue in Charlottesville in 2017 were just historic preservationists. They're not legal observers because, one, a lot of them are actually breaking the law, so they're illegal, not legal. And they're not mere observers because they are not attempting just to witness events. They are attempting to affect events. I guess by the left standards, though, all the people at this arrest are just legal observers.
Get back. Very good. Get back. Very good. Keep moving. Keep moving. Stay back.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is not a bunch of legal observers. That's a mob. And we're seeing crowds like that all over Minneapolis every single day confronting ICE. And the point of it is to create intolerable conditions for ICE in Minneapolis and Minnesota more broadly, to create an environment of violent intimidation using elements of coercion and using bullying. So this is a multi-pronged effort. There's the higher level, the kind of air cover you get from politicians making excuses for it or encouraging it or engaging in lawfare in support of it, like we've seen in this completely absurd lawsuit that Minnesota and Illinois have filed saying that ICE is outside of its constitutional bounds. The legal reasoning here makes no sense, and this thing is bound to fail. Eventually, Congress enacted the immigration laws. It's the executive's responsibility to see that they are enforced. And the supremacy clause of the Constitution says that states and localities can't interfere with that and come up with their own immigration policy counter to that of the federal government. So that's a high level effort, making excuses, launching this lawsuit. Then you have what's going on in the streets, which is intended to make ICE's operations difficult or impossible to carry out most immediately, and then over the medium or long term, create images that can be portrayed, that can be distorted as ICE overreach and use that to undermine this operation politically. But there's no doubt that ICE is operating among a hostile population, significant elements of which consider them an occupying force that has no legitimacy and should be expelled. This is the equivalent of free Palestine for the anti-ICE crowd. This is an insurgency, though, on the merits that, if you care about the laws, the United States of America deserves to fail. I'm Rich Lowry, over and out.